So chat, I just recorded a video, and I have like a little bit of time before I have to go pick up my little brother. But I wanted to talk about Yuji's. Damn, I don't even have like anything pulled up for this. What the hell am I doing? I wanted to talk about Yuji's. Where is this at? Which one should I open up? Let's open up this one. I wanted to talk about Yuji's soul splits, soul like dismantles, right? Or his what chapter was that? Let me calculate it. It might have been this one right here. 244. Or his soul punches, right? I wanted to talk about this because it's really weird. So obviously from the surface level, I started off thinking, okay, Yuji can just target someone's soul directly and do like soul damage, right? And like it's really weird, right? Because okay, he had this ability. He had the ability to attack souls since he was fighting Mahito, but he never uses it against anyone else, right? And I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, again, from the surface level, you would be like, yes, he can attack anyone's soul. But then you really think about it, he doesn't use it against anyone else throughout the entire series. And there's never like an actual like statement that he can do that to anyone. You know what I mean? It's only ever stated to work against Mahito specifically. So sorry, I haven't like made a Yap video in a minute, so I'm trying to like get my thoughts together. I have a lot of thoughts, but like I don't know where to start. I'll start with this because I already have it open. So I was thinking about how, okay, the ability that we grant Yuji is basically Soul Split Katana's curse technique, right? You know how every special grade curse tool has a curse technique within it, right? So Inverted Spirit of Heaven is a special grade curse tool, and its curse technique is to like cancel out it. Where is it? Is to nullify it, right? And then we have like Black Rope, which it's not like classified as special grade, but it has a curse technique to interrupt, right? Disrupt or cancel, right? And then we see like an actual curse technique version of that, which is Angel, right? We see Angel have the curse technique version of that. And then we have like, what's another example? Dragon Bone, right? It literally just shoots out curse energy from its like holes, right? And we see the curse technique version of that, which is Ryu, right? And then we get to like Soul Split Katana, where Soul Split Katana. Am I blind? Oh, Soul Split Katana right here, which has the ability to basically like go for your soul and attack it, right? So it's like, okay, that's the curse technique that's in it. So do we have like an equivalent inside the show? And I feel like maybe it could be Mahito's, right? Maybe Mahito's or something like that. But then again, the point is that these like curse techniques, you can't really replicate it just because. You know what I mean? Like you can't you don't just casually have Ryu's curse, like the thing that Ryu has that Dragon Ball basically does. You can't just basically do that, right? Or you can't just have the ability to cancel out curse techniques with just curse energy. You know what I mean? And so we go to like Yuji, and it's like, okay, does Yuji just casually have the ability to attack anyone's soul just because he can see his own soul? You know what I mean? Again, Toji, Maki, and maybe Daido. Does Daido is, hold on, let me see this real quick. I want to see this real quick. He was an incarnated sorcerer. He's a sorcerer. Wait a second. Hold on, chat. Hold on. This is. Oh wait, no, hold on. Let me do this. Yeah, he's a sorcerer, isn't he? Occupation. Okay, occupation as a Jujutsu sorcerer. Daido was just a regular guy, wasn't he? Like, but how did he turn into an incarnated sorcerer? Man, this is so much work. Basically, I'm trying to say it's like Daido has the same thing that Toji and Maki have, where they can see souls just right off the bat. They just have the ability, right? Daido has that ability, but he's not out here just attacking people with it, right? Attacking people because he can see his souls, right? What he does, he has to use a cursed tool to do it, right? And the same goes with Toji and Maki. They can see souls, but they're not about to just punch it just because they're aware of it, right? They need to use... Sorry, I was punching my mic. They need to use Soul Split Katana to do that. And obviously there's like... there's things on the other side where it's like... Where Sukuna's seeing Yuji fight against him, and he's like, okay, it's the same logic as the Mahito thing. It's like, okay, maybe Yuji is just more proficient in it, and now he can do that. But again, it's like, who was he training with to be able to switch, to be able to like get that ability out of nowhere? You know what I mean? No one else has that ability. Chozo doesn't even have that ability, and he's like an incarnate sorcerer kind of, right? And so he's like, okay, where is it? He's like, it's the same logic as his effective attacks against Mahito. That's kind of hilarious, bro. He still doesn't call him Mahito inside of his head. That's crazy. Anyways, he's like, he can sense it. He's aiming directly for the barrier. So it's like, okay, if you can aim directly for that, so he should be able to aim for the soul. But again, like, you know, what if that's part, like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Again, like, I just realized that this is the great thing about Yap videos, because I'm just realizing a thought, right? So again, I talked about this earlier where, again, he had the ability to attack Mahito's soul, but he wasn't doing that against anyone else, right? And he was just doing this subconsciously, like, unconsciously, whatever. But he's just attacking Mahito, and it's working because he has the ability to, right? And so here he's attacking the barrier between them because he has the ability to. He has the ability to see the boundaries, their boundaries, right? And so, like, again, it could be a case of just like Mahito, where he just has the ability to, and so every time he attacks Mahito, he's attacking his soul, right? Every time he's attacking Sukuna, he's attacking the boundary between Megumi and Sukuna's soul. And again, like, the thing that wraps it around is the fact that, like, no one can just casually do it. There isn't any emphasis on the fact that Yuji can just fight against someone and just attack their soul, right? Because there never was that emphasis. It was only with Mahito. Same goes for Sukuna, bro. Sukuna literally does that in chapter 30, yeah. In chapter 30, he literally slashes Mahito's soul. Does he do that for everyone else? No. He doesn't do that for everyone else. But he does that against Mahito because he has the ability to. It's not like he just, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention. Obviously, this isn't the end, but there was another thing out of my thoughts that I wanted to mention. Is this as well, where, like, Sukuna's like, okay, this ability that Yuji has is effective against an incarnated sorcerer. He doesn't emphasize that, okay, if he's going against... Wait, is it in 240? No, it's 250. Yeah, it's 264. He doesn't emphasize, like, okay, now he has the ability to attack everybody's soul. Like, you know what I mean? There's no emphasis on that. Have I mentioned that in a video? I have. I mentioned that in a video. And the reason why I have to really think about it, because I made a Yuji versus Maki video. It's actually, like, it's blown up since then. And it's weird because the reason why I had Yuji win was because I said both of them are doing soul damage, and Yuji can heal his soul damage while Maki cannot, and so Maki eventually loses. But do I even think Yuji can use soul damage at all? against someone like against anyone, you know? It's really weird. But yeah, so I talked about the cursed tool thing. I talked about like people having the ability to see souls and not just doing soul damage just because they can see it. Another proof of that is obviously, again, I said Sukuna, but also Gojo. Gojo just plainly looks at souls casually throughout the series, but he's not doing soul damage to everyone. It's never emphasized that he has the ability to have soul damage. I mean, to do soul damage, right? Look at Gojo right here, literally staring at Sukuna and Megumi's soul right here. He's staring at them. He's like, oh, it's Megumi's. Or in chapter 2, when he's staring at Yuji, he's like, oh crap, like Sukuna really is in your body. Right here, he's like, oh, you're no kidding. They're combined, right? Because they're both in her body. That's basically what he saw. He saw this, right? And so, like, is Gojo out here doing soul damage to everyone? No, but Yuji just has that because he was doing it against Mahito. Like, yeah, I have to be a little bit skeptical on it. I honestly am of the opinion that he just doesn't have that. It's never really emphasized to us that he just has the ability to attack anyone's soul. Right? It gets to a point where, like, it's like situational where against Mahito, he has the ability to what's that? Perceive souls. So every time he attacks Mahito, it works. He has the ability to perceive souls, so every time he attacks Sukuna, the boundary between them gets disrupted. All right? It's really odd. But again, like, the biggest thing is that Yuji is actually aiming for that. Like, that's the biggest, like, problem with this, is that Yuji isn't doing this unconsciously. It's not just like the Mahito one, where Mahito is... No, it's not like the Mahito one where Yuji is just hitting Mahito and it's just working because he has the ability. He's actively aiming to strip Sukuna from Megumi's soul. Right? Because again, like, if he already had this ability, bro, his attacks against Sukuna earlier, like when Sukuna first took over Megumi's body, it would have been doing the exact same thing. But Sukuna only realizes that that's happening against him during Shinjuku, right? So maybe it's not exactly like a Mahito, right? Sukuna gets punched right here, and like if he had the same ability, bro, it would have the exact same thing would have happened, but not really. That doesn't really happen, right? So again, like, I think the main thing against it is the fact that like you can't just casually have the ability of a cursing Neek. We just curse energy. You know what I mean? Again, we have like examples of like Inverted Spirit of Heaven or Black Rope or Dragon Bone or things like that, right? I feel like there was more off the top of my head. I just can't think of it at the moment. What is it, bro? Again, it's just really weird because it's like, okay, if you assume Yuji can do that, then surely Gojo and Sukuna should be able to do that, but they don't really do that against anyone. Right? Gojo goes throughout the entire show. He's fighting against Miguel, and he's like, oh, Miguel's super tough, but this entire time he could have just used soul attacks, right? That Miguel can't heal from because he doesn't have reverse cursing Neek, or you know what I mean? Like, it's super weird, man. But he's aiming for it directly, man. I think the safest option is to assume that he does have it, but at the same time, like, you have to be really skeptical. What the heck? Skeptical about certain things because there's certain things that you like, you keep reading and you're like, oh, like this is how the power system works, right? Just like the shrine thing where World Cutting Slash gets bigger as it continues traveling, right? And like I was about to say like that's an example of it, but obviously if someone were to read JJK for the first time, they would assume World Cutting Slash is traveling. But it's people who try to not really push an agenda, but people who try to read too deep into things and being like, oh, it doesn't travel. So maybe I'm one of those where I'm reading too deep into things, right? Maybe I am one of those and Yuji can do soul damage, but again, he never really exhibits that. But maybe it could just chalk up to a case of Yuji getting better at it throughout the time skip, which he doesn't train with anyone for. He just reads a book. Man, that's so weird, man. And the other side is, again, Sukuna not doing that against anyone. Sukuna literally doing that against no one, ever. Even though he had the ability this entire time. Or Gojo having the ability and not doing it. You know what I mean? It's super weird. Or Yuki having the ability. Man. Oh, chat. I just realized. Oh my gosh, bro. How long are we into this? We're 16 minutes in. I just realized what I was gonna say. The real curse technique for Soul Split Katana is not Mahito, it's Nobara. Nobara's resonance, bro. That's literally what it is. Nobara's resonance is literally what Soul Split Katana does. That's what it was. I totally forgot. It was freaking Nobara, bro. That's what it was. Nobara's resonance literally just attacks your soul directly. Wow, I can't believe I forgot that, bro. 16 minutes in and I remember what it was. Yeah, it was Nobara's. You see what I'm saying? So there's already a curse technique that does that. But then we're just giving that to, like, we're just giving that to Yuji. Even though we see Nobara can do that to anyone, but Yuji can't do that to anyone. Right? Yuji's like, we see it directly. Yuji and Nobara are going against Eso and Ketsuzu. Nobara uses resonance against Eso? I'm going with Eso. Nobara uses resonance against... Oh, crap. Oh, it was here. This is... Yeah, that's Eso. Nobara uses resonance against Eso. Does soul damage. And then Yuji's fighting against him. He's doing just physical damage. You know what I mean? There is a... You know what I'm saying? I don't know, chat. You guys let me know your thoughts, honestly. Like, again, this is the point of the Yat videos. I'm just trying to find out new things. But yeah, like, does Yuji really have soul like attacks against anyone in the verse, or is it really just against Mahito or incarnated sorcerers? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember that, again, Gojo is just shown to see souls. Maki, Toji, and Daido all see souls. Daido likely has curse energy because he's an incarnated sorcerer. Bro, actually, let me see this. Like, he literally has a binding vow with Daido, bro. There's no way he just made a binding vow with a non-sorcerer, right? He has to be. I don't know, bro. At the same time, he does use Soul Split Katana, right? And yeah, whatever. Daido has the exact same thing, but he's not going over here punching him, right? Even though he has the ability to. Punching his soul. He has to use his curse. He has to use the sword that has a curse technique within it. Yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the comments about that. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch y'all on the next one.